The economic landscape of legalized sports betting in the United States has expanded with a velocity and scale that is historically unprecedented for a new industry. Understand the gravity of gambling, we first have to grasp the sheer magnitude of the capital flowing through this new market. The U.S. sports betting market was valued at an estimated $17.94 billion in 2024. That figure is projected to climb to $19 billion in 2025. Industry analysts forecast a continued, robust expansion, with the market expected to reach $33.18 billion by 2030, reflecting a compound annual growth rate of 10.9%. But that $17 billion market value isn't the only number that matters. In 2024, Americans legally wagered approximately $150 billion on sports. This figure, known as the handle, is the critical data point for understanding the activity's societal impact. The cultural force of sports betting is driven less by the industry's ultimate profit and more by the colossal volume of capital being cyclically wagered. An individual's financial life is directly affected by the total amount they put at risk, not just their net losses. A $150 billion handle signifies that, collectively, American households are placing this amount of their capital into a state of financial precarity. From that $150 billion handle, sportsbook operators generated roughly $13.75 billion in gross gaming revenue, or GGR. This is the money bettors lost, and it's what sportsbooks mark as revenue. For perspective, the entire U.S. audio streaming market, that's Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, and everyone else combined, generates about the same amount of revenue. The economic impact of sports betting losses is equivalent to the entire music streaming industry. Leave a comment below with which one you would rather live without. The dollars say you're indifferent. Through multi-year, multi-million-dollar marketing and partnership agreements with major professional leagues like the NFL and NBA and individual teams, they have deeply integrated their brands into the very fabric of American sport. Giving us goofy songs made by gambling apps like Hard Rock Bet.
You made so much noise. Here's a bonus bet for you and the boys. And no, we didn't forget all you girls.
You can bet across the whole for the world.
You can bet the game on Hard Rock Bet. No more betting inside your head.
Or ads by NBA athletes and comedians.
He's got an NFL offer.
Don't play with me.
I think I'm gonna take it.
Aren't you a little too old to be playing football?
Wait, what?
They want somebody that can run at 40, not somebody that is 40.
This integration blurs the traditional lines between athletic competition and gambling, a cultural shift with far-reaching consequences. And the consequences are already showing up in the data. One study found that bankruptcies were found to go up 28% in a county after sports betting legalization, which is estimated to result in 30,000 additional bankruptcy filings each year. $150 billion in capital gets tied up in a betting cycle. Americans lose $13.75 billion. 30,000 extra bankruptcies occur. Our culture becomes more gambling-esque, both bettors and players. What would gambling proponents say? Why did, as of today, 38 states and D.C. all jump on the sports betting bandwagon so fast? The argument? Freedom, money, and jobs. You see, before 2018, Americans were already wagering billions of dollars every year through illegal local bookies and offshore online accounts. That was all shadow economy capital, flowing completely outside the regulated taxable U.S. economy. On a very tangible level, legalization was sold to us as a way to formalize and repatriate all that cash. And on that one specific front, it has been an absolute monster of a success. Since 2018, the total legal handle has exploded. It went from $4.6 billion in 2018 to nearly $150 billion in 2024. Over its short lifetime, the legal market has processed well over $500 billion. This has generated a gusher of new tax revenue for states. Collectively, states have raked in over $9.3 billion in taxes since 2018. And New York is in a league of its own. Thanks to its massive 51% tax on operator revenue, the state has pulled in a staggering $3.3 billion. Illinois, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, they're all clearing hundreds of millions of dollars. But here's where that shiny sales pitch starts to fall apart. Let's talk about the jobs myth. Early advocacy for legalization often highlighted the potential for significant job creation. A prominent 2017 study by the American Gaming Association projected that a nationally legalized sports betting market could support over 216,000 jobs. Other estimates suggested over 100,000. Well, a real-world 2023 study of the market in Massachusetts found that the launch of its new mobile-dominant industry created 118 jobs. Why? It's pretty simple. First, a betting app on your phone doesn't require nearly as many in-state employees as a massive labor-intensive resort casino. Second, the study found this isn't new economic activity. 71% of the money spent on mobile betting was just reallocated from other parts of the local economy. It was cash people would have spent on restaurants, retail, or even our physical casinos. So it's not an engine for new growth or employment. It's just a new way to collect taxes on money that was already being spent, essentially encouraging people to pay more in taxes without actually producing a real increase in GDP. So if the public isn't getting jobs, who is getting rich? The leagues are. The NFL, that once vehemently opposed any association with gambling, have done a complete 180, signing a 5-year, $1 billion deal in 2021 with the largest sports books in the nation, all marketing to a specific kind of sports fan. There used to be diehard fans and bandwagon fans, but broad-spread gambling has created a third class of fans who have a purely transactional relationship, fair wager fans. The gambling companies, media, and leagues have created a perfect circular ecosystem. Fair wager fans are more engaged. They watch more games, even bad ones, which makes broadcast rights way more valuable. Sportsbooks like FanDuel and DraftKings spend over $1 billion a year on advertising to get those fans. Media companies like ESPN get paid for those ads and get higher viewership, so they bake betting odds, point spreads, and prop bets right into the game broadcasts. Betting becomes pervasive, and player scandals become more common.
He was a starting shooting guard with a smooth three-point shot. But now, Sidquavius Day-Day Hunter is banned for life from the NCAA.
The Pete Rose scandal, which saw the baseball legend banned for life for betting on his own team, alarmed the nation. Legislators feared that legalizing sports betting would corrupt both professional and collegiate sports, turning wholesome entertainment into vehicles for gambling. The act had the full backing of all major sports leagues. The NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and the NCAA banded together lobbying Congress that legal sports betting would damage their games. In November 2014, Adam Silver became the first professional sports commissioner to come out in favor of gambling. This 25-year prohibition was repealed on May 14, 2018, in the landmark Supreme Court case Murphy v. National Collegiate Athletic Association. The case was driven by the state of New Jersey, which had long crusaded to overturn the ban to capture revenue for its struggling Atlantic City casinos. In a 7-2 decision, the court struck down PASPA as unconstitutional. The court's decision did not legalize sports betting nationwide. Instead, it returned the power to regulate sports gambling to each individual state. With the proliferation of gambling, sports leagues and their integrity have come into question. Prosecutors alleged that on March 23, 2023, Rozier purposefully left a game against the Pelicans early, citing a foot injury. What looks particularly bad for the NBA is that legal sportsbooks flagged the unusual betting activity and alerted the league at the time. The NBA suspended Mr. Rozier for the remainder of 2023, but allowed him to play the following 2 seasons. The NBA stated in January 2025 it did not find a violation of NBA rules. Commissioner Adam Silver later explained the league frankly couldn't find anything and lacked federal subpoena power. The NBA had investigated themselves and found no wrongdoing, unlike the sportsbooks who flagged him. On October 23, 2025, the FBI showed they also disagreed with the NBA. This massive gap between the initial warning and the federal arrest fuels public scrutiny. With the pervasive integration of gambling into sports culture, we see a system where considerable societal and personal costs are exchanged for a new stream of tax revenue and an American's freedom to gamble. It'll be interesting to see how the benefits of this tax revenue and personal freedom permeate American society, as they will surely struggle against the negative backdrop of serial bettors and sports scandals. One thing is certain, gambling will take a greater seat in our society. This is evident whether we look at its growth as a hobby, its about 10% CAGR, the billions in yearly tax revenue, the 30,000 bankruptcies, its tepid job growth, or how it is woven more and more into sports culture. The overall effects on each individual can be beneficial, benign, or malignant, depending on who you ask. If you're a New Yorker that's not much of a sports fan, your state is better funded and your bank account didn't lose a dime. On the other hand, if you're a Miami Heat fan, your team burned a first-round pick trading for Terry Rozier, who might not ever play in the league again.